Oh shit! I think we did it. I think we, for the first time, have multiple Skypes and a real guest on. All without grown-up help, except for we totally had grown-up help. Thank you, Bryce, for phoning in all of the support for a happy hour. Hey, Jacob, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm great over here. How are you guys doing?
Man, super good. For the uninitiated, Jacob, the audio guy, sound guy or audio guy?
We say audio guy, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Of ice cream social fame. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me, guys. This looks like a blast.
Yeah, we invented the idea of a multiple show a week podcast for comedy. No one had ever done that, and now we're doing it. So, we think it's going pretty well so far.
Seems like a fine idea.
I actually was talking to Andrew Heaton today because he was really reticent about over cross-promoting his podcasts. Like I suggested he should take his science fiction podcast, and every so often, if there's a really good one, throw it in his politics feed and just say, hey, just so you know, there's this other thing I do.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, will that upset everyone? And I was like, to put in context, we went from 1 post a week to 6 posts a week, 5 of which are low-effort posts. And so far, it's been unanimously thankful. Like, everybody's been happy.
People seem to like it. No, Heaton, he needs to get over that. Although I'm going to interview him after this for the PX3 show, and I'm going to have to formally apologize to him.
For what?
Because when he got fired from the Blaze, he was telling me like, oh no, me and you. He was like, hey, I think I'm just gonna move to Scotland and like fix bikes or make paper airplanes or whatever you do.
And you're the one who encouraged him to dive deeper into politics.
And I was like, literally, I'll stab you if you don't at least stay in politics through 2020. 2020 is the harvest year. Like this is when all the money's gonna come in. So yeah, I got to. Your old boy Jervs knows when he took the L. As soon as he's legally allowed to fly to Scotland again, please, man, get the hell out of here. It sucks.
So specifically, I think Justin was last night. We were sort of lamenting the fact that politics was kind of a fun, hilarious horse race when everybody was cartoonish and fighting against each other, or whatever. But now there's only 2 horses. And they're both accused sexual assaulters.
Oh, no. If that were the case, and we still had campaign events, and I could still be on the road, and it was still like that normal thing, oh, God, I'd love it. 2 just sexual assault magnet pirate ships just firing cannonballs back at each other, like just 2 glass houses riddled with like spider web cracks. We could have
Hillary Clinton stand on stage during the debate just so they could both creepily walk behind her.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of them smelling their hair, the other one looming like
exactly. And
like
all
a mugger.
The while, she's like, crushing a water bottle like Jeffrey Epstein's windpipe, like just. Like there'd be a million things that you could do if it were a normal year. There's just nothing's happening. It's not that they're bad. They're always bad, the candidates. Right. Like, it's just that now there's no events. And it's like, who's doing better? The guy with tens of thousands of Americans dying or the one who won't leave his basement? Like, tune in.
There was, in the after show, by the way, have you already recorded that whole politics episode about that Biden ad with
No, I'm actually going to save it for Friday, but we can talk about it now. Although I do have entertainment news for you boys.
Okay, well okay. I just want to give the shortest version of that.
Yeah.
Like, I went to bed thinking about the meme potential of how wrong-headed that sentiment was. That "where are you gonna go" bit at the end of the somebody give me a link to the thing so we can bring Jacob into the loop.
Joe Biden video, Jacob, to catch you up. What I'm very excited for. If there's one thing that does warm the cockles of my heart as we move into this fractured election, is all of the really cool, beautiful, talented, amazing celebrities that will all, as they always do once every 4 years, try to make the Democratic nominee look super cool except
Sure.
this time it's Joe Biden. Like now it's like normally it's like Hillary Clinton, and it's like, you know, the funny comedians will like do a thing, and then Hillary
Yeah.
Clinton will punch in with the joke at the end. But now it's
Right.
Joe Biden.
So here's the thing. It's a not very good sketch, and we played a bit of it last night. I guess we'll play.
Oh, this is great.
Okay.
Is the name Maurice funnier than Martin?
I like Maurice.
One R. Yeah, don't try too hard.
So it's
Working on a speech that I'm going to need you to deliver.
We should try to find a place for the word loquacious.
it's just the
41
two of them.
down, comedy duo Key and Blank. How many E's in Peel?
3. 3 E's in Peel. 3.
13.
Come
Oh, I
on,
love
Keegan,
this
you
so
can
much.
do 20. Keegan, I do everything 46 these days.
So okay, all right. So it's a bunch of these flat on their face jokes, but the part that haunts me, Justin, that ending where specifically in a case where the Democratic Party has, you know, they've cast their lots and there's nowhere for them to go. Like the meme potential in this. Look at this ending, Jacob. Here we go. So at this point, Keegan-Michael Key wants to leave and is trying to leave. And what does Joe Biden say?
Guys?
Pretty good. I'm still working on my sunglasses.
But Joe, I got to get going.
Where are you going? You're quarantined. You can't go anywhere. We're in quarantine.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
What are you gonna do? Vote for Amash? You can't go anywhere. I'm your candidate.
The doors are
Oh,
locked
that's
from the
horrible.
outside.
You're gonna vote for the Green Party? What are you thinking?
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what stories come out.
You know you're gonna vote for me.
Oh
This
my god.
foolishness.
That has explosive potential, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, god damn it. Maybe I wound up talking about some other stuff that I thought was actually like slightly more in the vein of where I wanted to go this episode, but Friday I'll definitely do it because it is I think maybe I'll go back and dig up some other old like celebrities doing things for politicians. Because really, it peaked with like performing a rock star performing at a rally is maybe the most dignified thing that a celebrity can do in politics. Everything else is just embarrassing. Any comedy is just embarrassing.
You're at least doing your thing, your polished thing that you took on the road, and you are giving a implicit or explicit endorsement to the campaign by being there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But as opposed to, you know, working with Jacob, did you ever see the Forrest Gump thing? No, I won't do this. I won't do this. No, somebody steer us to another topic. Justin, entertainment news.
Hey,
entertainment news.
Entertainment news. Brian.
Yes.
Hello from the other side of weight loss. Staggering new pictures of Adele today.
I saw this.
Adele weight loss is what I'm looking for.
Just go ahead and Google Adele weight loss.
Oh, I didn't know there was homework. Okay, hold on.
No. Here, I got it. There we go. We'll go to news. There we go. All right. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
So yeah, just turned 32, but apparently she lost 100 pounds.
Oh my God. I don't know how to feel about that.
So you are not alone, Brian. This apparently is the new thing that is being talked about, is whether or not you're allowed to praise Adele for losing weight or if that is fat phobic.
No, it's not
Oh,
fat phobic.
what?
It's just not. It's not the delightful Adele that I knew.
I mean, I
So,
think it's
all right,
only
so-
wrong
so
to
you
praise
are-
her for losing weight if she lost it because of like cancer or something, right? Otherwise, like if she wanted to do it, then it's probably good.
If it was like, you really do have to read the caption, and she's not like, "Oh my God, I'm dying from a tapeworm." This is a medically prescribed mini dress.
Hope you're all staying safe during this crazy time. Thank you to all the first responders, essential workers. Also, look at me, I'm thin. weird thing for her to write.
Fair.
I mean, I guess good for her. Yeah, good for her.
No, but this is so this is the new think piece though, is whether or not you're allowed to be happy, or like should you just silently and solemnly nod because she has made a decision for herself, or should you say, "Oh my God, you look beautiful"?
Wait, is this a bad time to announce that I've actually lost 8 pounds during the quarantine?
Have you?
I'd like to
Congratulations.
announce here first publicly.
Also, I'm
Oh
ashamed
my
of you.
God.
You're no longer the beautiful
Jesus.
cherubic Jacob that I thought you were.
I know. I mean, finally, I can say what a fat fuck you were for years.
Yeah.
We were all talking about it. Jacob, the fat fuck you guy, was what we called you behind your back. But now, svelte,
knew it.
like you could slip through a arcade coin slot. Just thin.
I mean, I
You
guess
suck me through a garden hose.
the alpha and the omega is she happy? And if she's happy, then we should be happy, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jacob
Okay, so
seems happy.
let me be clear. Curtis has the right of it. The think piece was more about whether or not just saying, "Oh my God, you're so hot and beautiful," like the fact that she lost the weight, which I'm kind of on the side of like when we start policing the compliments. That's where I think it's like, are we really getting to the right place? If our first thought is like, no, fewer compliments to people.
Right.
That's what.
How about this? Before this, I would have said Adele is a very attractive, very talented woman. And now I say that she is a very attractive, very talented woman.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yes.
She's
Well,
still an attractive woman.
plus
She
also
just looks different.
And here's the other thing. The stated message that she gave was not, "I used to be a fat fuck, but now look at this hot bod." like then we'd have something to talk about,
No.
right? But her
Although
message is,
apparently that is going to be her new single. Those are the actual lyrics.
"I used to
I'm gonna buy
be a
that.
fat fuck, now look at this. Do 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 do.
It's a country song. It's
Beat
a
up
country
a
album.
tits."
Horrific also got really bad when she got thin.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's like,
I'm Adele, look at me, I'm singing a song.
like oh
No,
God.
now we would have something to fuss over. It's
I know.
like who knew that
like-
that fat was the source of her talents?
It's like that was a great
Oh my God,
song,
she lost 100
Adele.
pounds and she sounds terrible.
Yeah.
She sounds
like,
like
oh,
Brian
great.
Brushwood.
Great song, honey. You want to have some ice cream? You should celebrate with a lot of
Here's some
ice
pie.
cream. Yeah. Let's go to the
Everything
Golden
a la
Corral.
mode from now on.
Yeah.
So is this like, has she not posted in a while, or
I think
she hadn't spoken
this
publicly
was
about
this was
it?
a big this was like a thing that kind of took the internet by storm today. Was now Adele is skinny.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Comment police. Oof, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing for me is like, in general, the world has low self-esteem. Can we all agree that the world has low self-esteem? Like,
mean,
so
I
Are you
am the
attacking me
world,
by saying that?
and I have low
okay,
self-esteem.
there we go. That's the point.
So
So, the more we can tell people, "Oh my God, you're beautiful and great," then I think that's better. And I think that extends to any and everybody. You can be beautiful and great. I mean, obviously, look, losing weight, if you want to lose weight, it takes time and effort and dedication. She obviously probably had that. And, even if she did have surgical help, that it still takes a lot of time and effort and dedication to make that
That's still
work.
hard.
Like,
well, and you know what's funny is I assume most of the comments are some version of, "Oh my God, you look fabulous," which really can be divorced from weight. Like if somebody loses a lot of weight, oftentimes that's an indication that they've made a fundamental life choice about their lifestyle and everything, and they're taking care of themselves in a new way, in which case you see them and they do look fabulous. They radiate this joy and confidence. Meanwhile, somebody who quits smoking or whatever, maybe puts on weight or gets a divorce and puts on weight, but suddenly has confidence and radiates this joyful beauty for the first time. You could see somebody who gains weight and say, "Oh my God, you look fabulous. You look," and so I don't know. I think you're right. I think there's a little bit of purity spiraling on this, where it's just like, well, you're liking it, but not for the right reasons.
although I think for your point, Brian, is also valid, where we knew Adele. Adele was great because we had kind of gone a long time between like chubby divas in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to bring this up.
Yeah.
Go on. I want to hear Jacob take this.
No, I mean, I think a lot of people liked Adele, and they kind of liked themselves for liking Adele, even though she was an overweight person.
Right.
And I think we might be seeing some backlash from that now. So I think we might be seeing like, oh no, I liked me for liking her, even though she looked the way she did, and I still said she was pretty. So I mean, that made me a good person, and now I don't have
that's
that
interesting.
to fall back on anymore.
Because I thought
think
you were
that
going
might-
from the other angle of many people liked her because they could project themselves onto her, like, yeah, I'm a little heavier than I'd like to be, but look at
sure,
Adele.
there's that too.
But then it never occurred to me that there would be smug, self-satisfied, like, I'm so woke, I like Adele, even though she's
never
kinda,
underestimate
she
the
looks like she
smugness
can
of
lose.
people.
That's a part of it. I do think it's a part of it. But I think, Brian, I think also being people identifying themselves. And also it's like that archetype really hasn't been around. Like when's the last, like,
Wilson
I
Phillips.
guess what? All right, Wilson Phillips. So go back that far. Missy Elliott, maybe, and she got skinny. Like,
Right.
Oh wait,
Aretha-
even the Carney Wilson got like she had gastric bypass and got skinny.
yeah, but
When
like,
she had
so
the
it's like,
talk show.
yeah, it
I
doesn't
mean, Aretha
happen all that
Franklin
often.
is like the prototype.
Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, Aretha Franklin is the prototype, right? And so normally what happens with divas, Lizzo would be it now. Maybe
Oh,
now
there
that
you go.
Lizzo's around, Adele could lose weight. It's like it's
a-
like the Santa Claus.
That's right. It's a station where it's like doggone it. There was a book series called The Incarnations of Immortality where whoever killed death became death. I guess it was the Santa Claus, only in 1970s.
Oh, so you're saying that since Jonah Hill put the weight back on, now Adele could lose weight?
That's right.
Well,
It's
no,
Einstein's
no.
theory of weight conservation.
No, Jonah Hill's a different thing because he goes from like character actor to leading man. And so it's like that's the difference of at least 75 pounds for him.
Easy.
Man,
But yeah, music wise, now that there's a Lizzo, Adele can you're free, Adele. You're free.
Now, how much of that
X Modem is saying Kelly Clarkson. Poor Kelly Clarkson.
did she lose weight or put it on?
No, she put on a bunch of weight and then she just got fucking lambasted for it.
Oh,
People
I
went
remember they
after
did the
her.
same thing to Jessica Simpson, right? Like
Yeah. And Jessica Simpson put on like 15 pounds.
uh,
Jessica Simpson
Yeah.
didn't even put on tons of weight.
I don't know.
Kelly Clarkson got thicker, but she had enough of a personality that she was able to make it work. Like Kelly Clarkson's actually a charismatic person. And so she was like, fuck it. Like I'm gonna be fat and on the Voice and have my own daytime talk show.
Well, and I guess that's what I guess everybody's waiting on permission to approve of this. Well, everybody's waiting on the 30-minute interview where she says, "This is not me conforming to Hollywood norms. This is not my albums were doing fine.
does
I
she
could have been
have to do
fine or whatever.
that?
I did this." Yes, I think she has to.
We are gonna get the 3-paragraph Instagram caption within
we're gonna get
48 hours.
We're going to get the Adele apologizing for losing
Yes,
weight.
100%. Or
No,
actually,
yeah, it will-
giving
it will be-
permission
it will
for
be a
other people to approve
meditation.
of it.
Yeah, it'll be a meditation on beauty, but
Oh,
we
you're
are going to
probably
get
right.
the
Damn it.
like.
Let me make it clear. I did not do this to conform to any standards. I did this for me. My blood pressure was. My surgeon told me I chose a better life for myself. I work out now a whole bunch and I love it. It's me, Adele.
Okay.
I think it's just that the notes they just rattle off your
singing has gotten
bones.
terrible.
Different, yeah. It's like, I mean, yeah. I just don't know, Adele. It just kind of sounds like your rib cage is rattling, and it just you can't do music anymore. Skinny ass bitch.
So how's everything in Las Vegas? I made the mistake of, upon hearing that Las Vegas was open for business, blurting out of my mouth came, "Good, someone should be. They're a petri dish in the desert. It'll be great." And then next thing I see in the chat is, ice cream social guys hate this. It's literally threatening their lives. And I was like, I take everything back.
I tell you, Vegas was an early adopter of the quarantine. Just everything shutting down. We shut down, I think, like a week and a half or 2 weeks before the rest of the country did, which just means that we're going to be shut down for longer. So economically, it hurts a little more here than it does other places. And of course, we're terrified because our entire economy is run on people having disposable income and a willingness to travel, and so that's a little disheartening right now. But I mean, really, we're ticking along better than I would have expected us to. I really expected crime. I expected violent crime to be on an uptick by now. It's not. There are certainly people, just like there are everywhere, who are the big proponents of we need to reopen everything right now. Everything right now. And now even those people are starting to dial back a little bit. So we need to open all local businesses right now and just leave the strip closed. But like local businesses and local casinos, those can open. And I mean, it's all just everybody's chasing their tail a little bit. But most of us are sitting in our houses and just enjoying this semi-retired life while it's going on and trying to be relaxed about it.
There was a fan that I tend to be a bit misty-eyed optimistic about humanity's chances and everything. And somebody wrote me saying,
I am too.
Hey man, I'm feeling really, really down. Can you, I would write, but to ask you to talk about it on the show, but I don't want to clutter up the show. But what I wrote him back was, he was like, can you do some of that Brian thing where you make me feel good? And I said, hey,
happy
man.
endings?
Yes, right. Declined happy endings in Indonesia, deep cut. I wrote him back saying, I'm holding on to two things. And yes, I've gotten sad myself. But one thing is, humanity seems to bounce back really fast from these things and then instantly forget them. Last time we had a pandemic of this scale was in 1958, which I did not know. Mm-hmm. Over 100,000 people in America died in it. So technically worse. We might get a new record here. But 1958, I didn't even know there was a pandemic. That's how fast we snapped back.
Well, I mean, people have forgotten things like the Dust Bowl. I mean, people talk about the Dust Bowl like it happened in the 1600s. And no, that was relatively modern history. There are huge events that happen that are terrible that we do, for better or worse, we forget about them. Maybe a little bit more for the better, honestly, that we have such a short memory of them.
Well, and that's what I said was that yes, it's a global shit show right now, and we're all very afraid. But the important part is years from now, we will not remember the part. We will not hold on to. I guess we will remember being afraid, but we will not hold on to that fear. Like, I mean, 9/11 was fucking scary as shit, but buried in there was, over the next few years, flights were cheap and I was able to become a nationally touring magician. And not that the one offsets the other, but I tend to remember.
So everything evened out.
No, I tend to hold on to the excitement.
Everybody wins.
I remember those heady days of becoming a national magician, and I don't feel so much the fear that came along with it. And years from now, I will not hold on to the fear of this time. And there is real fear, but I will remember that 2020, I told him that a friend of mine said that if you have kids, 95% of all the time you will ever spend in your entire life with your kids will happen before they turn 18. After they turn 18, you get 5% of the remaining time you will ever spend with them to milk out over the rest of your life. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not, but it terrifies me.
I'm sure the numbers aren't exactly right, but the idea is correct.
Right. The sentiment is true enough and terrifying. And when I think of this time when I'm 90 away from this, I will not hold on to the fear. I will not feel the fear. I'll remember it vaguely, but I'll mainly feel the joy of, like, not waking up at 6:30 in the morning because my kids slammed the door, not driving my kids to school every day, but instead we wake up, dick around, make each other laugh. They drive me up the wall. I get, and then I tell them to bug off. I close the door and do some work or whatever. Like, I'm going to remember the gift of these extra months to get a little bit more out of that 95% before they turn 18. And so that's what I told them to hold on to, hold on to you're going to hold on to the gift, not the fear. So at least figure out what the gift is.
Right. I mean, I made the conscious decision early on in the quarantine business here, because I mean, for people who don't know me, I'm a sound guy here in Vegas. I'm a technical director and a sound guy here in Las Vegas for one of the biggest shows in town, and I do that along with podcasting. And so when that shut down, I made the conscious decision. I said, great. You know what? I'm going to take this time off. I'm going to relax. I'm going to tighten my belt and everything because I got less income coming in. But for the most part, I'm going to relax. I've got a lot of work I can do on my house. I just bought a new house a little less than 2 years ago now. And, it's big and it's old and there's lots of work to be done on it. So I've been getting a shit ton of work done just around the house. I mean, I was working on my bar before we called here. I'm putting press tin up around the bar and everything and doing all this stuff. And, I'm doing stuff like that. And then in the evenings, the sun goes down. I can't really work outside anymore. And the sun goes down, and my wife and I will put a movie on or something like that, and we'll sit on the couch with the dogs and just have a nice night. And man, that's been really nice. I don't know what's going to happen in a week, but I mean, nothing much I can do about that. So I'm just enjoying what I've got while I've got it.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is that even for folks that are hyper plugged in like I am, the only thing that you can do is understand what you don't know and understand that, like, the only way you're going to make an ass out of yourself is to overcommit to certain feelings, right?
Right.
And like, there's going to be no reward if you jump up and down and scream, everyone's going to die and the economy's going to crumble. Like, you don't get a plaque if you're right.
For being right.
Yeah.
They put a plaque on your grave, +1 for rightness.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh shit, like, too bad
Nailed it.
Justin's dead, but this plaque just came in that said he was right. Holy shit.
Man, he would have loved this plaque.
he
loved it.
was so he loved being right.
So, like, I obviously this is not to minimize folks who are really going through it. We are in we are folks who are on the space arc, as it were. Either
Right.
like we have income that is coming in that hasn't been affected by this, or you got enough going on that, like, skipping a couple months of work isn't going to crush you.
Yeah.
And so, like, that I do want to, with that caveat, say, like, hey, look, there's not a lot that we can do other than just try to understand how the world is around us and have a priority of reopening, but do it in the safest way possible.
I tell you, I had a scare a couple of days ago. My mom is a lung cancer survivor. She has remission. It's not technically lung cancer. It's a form of cancer that can manifest anywhere, and it manifested in several of her organs. But the main place it manifested was one of her lungs, and they ended up having to take a lung out. So she has one lung. She is well over the age of being concerned anyway, and add those two things together, and it's a little concerning when the other day my brother calls me and says, hey, mom's got a temperature of 102 and is sitting around the house, and she hadn't gone to the doctor yet. So maybe give her a call. And so I called her up and said, hey, my brother said you're not feeling well. You going to the doctor? And no, well, I called my doctor and I talked to him a little bit about it. And I said, yeah, tomorrow? Why don't you go to the doctor? It's evening now. You can't go today. Tomorrow morning, why don't you head on over to the doctor and just have them run the test? They've got tests. Go ahead and just have them run that. It came back negative yesterday. Came back negative.
How long did it take to run the test? Is that getting any shorter?
They ran it on Friday and it came back on Tuesday.
Okay, so it's still a bit.
Yeah, it's still a few days, and I don't know if the weekend has anything to do with that. I would think that it doesn't, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those crazy things that, like, I would assume that the weekend doesn't affect the length of time it takes for those test results to come back. I would assume that in this day and age.
I would assume
who knows?
It probably does. Somebody's taking it
It's also deep south. It's also deep south Louisiana, where everything stops for church anyway. So maybe it's still stopping. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the big thing is when can we? We talked about this before on a previous happy hour, and I would love to get your take. When do you feel ethical or moral or good or not selfish about getting yourself tested and your loved ones?
I would do the blood test, the test for the antibodies and everything. I would do that today.
Even though it's a little less reliable than we would all like it.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I have no reason to test myself to give myself the, like, do you have it right now test.
Well, but even then, the antibody test is less reliable because not enough people have taken it, right? Like that the issue is
right. That's part of it.
Like more people should take it because that makes it more accurate.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
This is
you build up that
virology with
percentage.
3 fucking leading
Comedians.
the nation's leading comedy virologists.
I only get my virology information from 3 bearded white dudes who are funny on the internet.
I know.
Oh, but my beard is so thick right now.
Oh my God, we were talking. Man, we went 30 minutes on crazy hairstyles that are now open to us without in a world without barbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is.
My hair is off the camera.
I was
gearing.
Justin was
up for a
working.
haircut right before this all happened, and then I forgot to do it, and then I don't have the option anymore.
Justin was working on his K-pop political pundit look.
Yeah.
And I was working on my double widow's peak mentalist look. There we go.
That's a good look.
That's good.
And then we have Cousin It. So here we are.
Man, you look like the first dude I ever met that had his own apartment. He was just a dude who never went to high school, but he had his own apartment and everyone hung out there, and he looked exactly like that.
And he drove a Lincoln, and he sounded a lot like Matt McConaughey.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a okay, so in a world where everyone's doing nutty things with their hair, hopefully somebody will send me a link to this, but Rex over at our friends at the Whiskey Tribe. You remember we did that show at the distillery.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Rex has
Jacob's still coming from the little secret
from the Whiskey Vault.
Yeah.
I'm getting a half chub right now just thinking about it.
The normally very laconic and subdued Jacob was like a kid in a candy store.
That's right. That's my favorite moment when anybody sees a big whiskey fan sees the Whiskey Vault for the first time, and then number one, they're amazed because it turns out the Wonka factory is real. But then there's that moment when you just casually say, "So which one?" And then all of a sudden, like, dawning realization that a genie has appeared and offered them one wish.
I had to do 2 things when I was told, like, pick one. Was one, I was just in awe that, like, oh shit, now I just get to go around and pick from, because I have a lot of whiskeys in my, I have over 200 bottles of whiskey in my house right now. And so I have a lot of booze. I collect whiskey. I appreciate it. I study it. I do all this stuff. But I mean, I'm crushed by the whiskey cellar. And the whiskey cellar has stuff in there the Whiskey Vault rather has stuff in there that I didn't know anyone had in private collections.
Yeah, you had heard about it by legend only.
Yes. Like I had the glass of whiskey I had in there was a glass of whiskey that I had been looking for I think like 8 years when we went in there. And I had assumed that I would just never see a bottle of it, and I ended up having a glass of it there. By the way, it was great. And the other thing I had to do after just picking my mouth up off the floor was I had to apologize to the young lady who was giving us the tour of the Whiskey Vault, because she said something to me while I was looking.
And you didn't hear
in
it?
awe. And no, it was worse than that. I went, hold on. And I physically like waved her off just in awe and like trying to hold back the tears. Oh, I felt horrible once I realized that I had done this. And I was like,
what are we doing?
I said something to her right then. And then I went back up to her later privately and was like, I'm so sorry about that. I'm very embarrassed about that. Please don't take it as a slight against you. I was truly in awe of this collection.
Okay, so I'm going to jump this forward. But this is our friends over at the Whiskey Vault. Let me swap this over. Rex got a haircut. Let me see if I can do this.
Sure.
I love snack packs.
If I remember correctly, this was supposed to be Jell-O chocolate pudding at our gas station.
When does it get?
I'm thinking about all of the suggestions that people had in the comments. I mean, you name it. There was
There you go.
And when it comes to a soda and a
Jesus Christ.
whiskey,
Get
So
ready.
wait, they shot it backwards.
it's not as
So his hair
off-putting as you would
grows.
think. I would dare say it's not bad.
I'd rather just have a Jim Beam and Coke.
What am I?
Look at that.
I don't
He
know.
got a skullet.
You're a
He
car
got a skullet.
Whoa.
He shaved himself into male pattern baldness.
All right.
I tell you, there is an amount of money that exists to have me do that, but I don't know what that amount of money is.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna
here's-
say,
when I hear it.
don't say it. Don't say a number because then somebody
No.
will.
I'm gonna
somebody
say
will put it
there's
there.
some kind of currency exchange rate between money and dignity, and Rex
Yes.
has a different exchange rate than the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, like you could find that for me. I'll know that amount when I hear it. If people start bidding, I'll know the number when I see it. But yeah, I
That's
don't know what that is
that's
off the top of my head.
That's the pathway to a shaved head, right?
Oh
Like-
yeah,
like,
I mean
only a
that's a
stopover.
that's a temporary stop on your way
Yeah,
to
yeah.
That's a shaved head that afternoon, right?
Yeah. Of
Oh
course,
no,
yeah.
he's been rocking it. He, as a matter of fact, it's growing out now, and he's bragging about
no.
the fact that it looks like a buzz cut, and he likes it because he can wear it down or wear it in a ponytail, and it looks good either way.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to use air quotes around good.
That is like I went into a barber shop one time to get a haircut, and the barber it was complete male pattern baldness on top, and then hair about my length was the rest of it, and he had it pulled back into a ponytail. I was like, that's not a look that I'm gonna trust the rest of my hair to. I'll see you guys later.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm out.
I remember that being a logic problem. Like, in a town with only 2 barbers, do you get a haircut from the barber with a good haircut or a bad haircut? And then, no, you get the one with the bad haircut because he got a haircut from the other guy.
Because he gave the other guy a haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or, yeah, no, wait.
If I'm
with
in
the
that
good...
town, I guess I'll get it from that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's what it is. Oh, my God. I can't even.
That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous haircut. Although he's a big dude, so it's intimidating when big dudes have shitty haircuts, because it makes you think that they're either like kind of like maybe they got something wrong with them and like they might fuck you up like just for looking at them weird.
Well, like,
Like-
a little dude, you would say, like, what the fuck is this? What are you saying with this? What are you doing? You would not think to ask that to somebody
No,
taller
yeah,
than you.
No, you're not gonna look at a big dude and be like, "Yo, what's with your fucking hair, idiot?"
And I don't know, because I understand what you're saying logically, but then or emotionally rather, but then the logical side of me takes it around to the other side, because we grew up in the time of like Columbine
You
and
ready for
things
your
like
Four
that,
Roses?
where it's like,
Oh,
oh no,
yeah.
here's this little guy that people picked on, like maybe we should leave him alone. Like leave this little guy with the bad haircut alone, because who knows what he's gonna come in doing, and then say Marilyn Manson made him do it or something.
It's a fair point. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so obsessed about self-esteem today, but like, I also just kind of feel like, tall people tend to have like surprisingly fragile egos because, like,
Really?
yeah,
That's interesting because on stage when I'm touring, I always pick tall people as volunteers because they tend to not feel threatened or the need to prove anything.
so they
Oh.
would have self-confidence, right? But if you're like tall, if you're like significantly taller than people most of your life, like there is an othering of like, okay, well, everybody else, the world is made for everybody else. I can never sit in an airplane seat, right? Like I'm always hitting my head on the top of door frames and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know when like somebody might like, it's not that they're gonna be hurt, but you never know when like something's going on in anybody's mind. It's just when it's bigger people, they can hurt you more because they're bigger.
Fine, Justin. I'm fine with how Adele looks now. I was fine with how Adele looked before. I think it's all fine.
I mean, oh man, can you imagine like Adele just snapping and beating the shit out of you?
Yes, I can.
That'd be fun.
Oh,
You know,
speaking of that half chub I was already getting.
Yeah, exactly. She just come at you all with her, jangly bracelets, like
a spider monkey.
So I got a question. The bar has been lowered, just changed. All time is different now, and
Right.
the level of content that I found myself willing to engage with has also changed. I don't know, had there not been a global pandemic, that I ever would have gone back to watch V or V the Final Battle from the early 80s or the first few episodes of Knight Rider. Those have been my biggest surprise. Along with over the weekend, I watched. I got to show my kids Moon and Men in Black, which, by the way, Men in Black totally holds up. Outside of ironically enough, the music video of Men in Black, which my kid laughed until she cried. She could not believe that was not that was not ironic. That was
And it was
unironic being
popular.
cool. Yes, she lost her fucking mind. My
Yes.
16-year-old.
Oh, she's right. Oh, she's just right. I mean, there's no other way to put that.
What about you guys? I know Justin started a whole podcast on Billy Crystal movies.
Been watching Billy Crystal movies, man.
Oh, did you not know about this, Jacob?
I did know about this, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of. Hey, I'll tell you what. Forget Paris is a fucking gem. Like that's not bullshit, dude. Forget Paris might be. It's better than When Harry Met Sally. It's almost assuredly Billy Crystal's best outing as a director.
What about you, Jacob?
Well, the stuff that I've really been digging into is much more boring than that. Anytime I've got a spare hour and a half, 2 hours, I've gone back and I've watched the entire Marvel universe.
Oh my
So
God!
Oh, jeez.
I had not seen all of them. Now we watched Infinity War 2 nights ago, so we're caught up now.
What is
And,
that like? Okay, so previous to the canonical straight through watch that you just did, where were the
And we
gaps
did it in
before?
Marvel movie order. We did it in chronological order in the Marvel universe.
Oh, so you
not
started
the order of release.
You started with Captain Marvel then, or no? You started with Captain America. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was shortly after.
Oh, that's wild. What was that like?
It was neat. It was a fun one. Actually, Captain Marvel is the only exception to that because I wasn't going to watch because I saw Captain Marvel in theaters, so I wasn't going to watch Captain Marvel again. And then SJ, my wife, joined me in this watching, and then so we got to the end of Infinity War. We got to the end of Infinity War where they teased Captain Marvel. My wife said, "Oh, I never saw that," and I said, "Oh, I guess we'll watch Captain Marvel now." So that was the only one we watched in order of the release, but everything else we watched in order of how it happened in the universe.
So Captain
Which was
Marvel.
a neat way to watch it.
Justin has no public opinion about Captain Marvel. I, for one, didn't care for it.
Okay.
I don't know how you felt about it the first viewing, but what changed upon the second viewing?
My viewing of it the second time was much more favorable. My opinion of it the second time was much more favorable. The first time, I was really pretty bored by it. The second time around, I think it might just be because I just immersed myself in all of these Marvel movies, and so I think I was just in a better mindset for it the second time, and watched it, and I think I was able to enjoy it for what it is.
I would imagine that if you spend more of your time looking for the connective tissue, the linkages, the references to other things or whatever,
Right.
then you get a little bit more of kind of like a puzzle
There's
game
something else to do.
aspect. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with Westworld, or where it's like,
All right.
like Westworld's a weird one because everything about Westworld is perfect, and yet somehow the sum is less than all of the parts that go into it. Like the actors are great, the direction's great, the setting and the music, everything, every individual thing is great.
See, I love Westworld, but just like from that technical vantage point that I'm looking at it from as well, it's just beautiful.
It is.
I haven't seen any of the latest season. I'm waiting for the latest season to run its course, and then I can binge all of it.
Man, I think if you've and here's the unfair part. Did you binge the first 2 seasons of Westworld?
I binged the first season and then watched the second season as it was coming.
Yeah, I think
and I enjoyed the binging more, so that I'm waiting for the third season to be done so I can have that experience again.
that is a wise decision, and I think you will love the third season. I think it's a show that, for whatever reason, is agonizing week over week, but I think would be just a joy to experience all as a binge.
Now, I'll tell you the fun things that we have been watching is because we have the Disney Plus app now, and so I have been going back to old Disney movies, both live action and animated.
You watching That Darn Cat?
Those. I haven't seen That Darn Cat yet. I have seen The Black Hole.
Oh my God, The Black Hole is amazing to look at and fucking
So
unwatchable as a narrative story.
Yes. Oh, it's horrible.
But
it's so pretty.
Yes, all of that.
Yeah. And then the other one we watched was The Black Cauldron, the animated movie The Black Cauldron, which is neither pretty nor watchable.
That's a bummer.
It's horrible. It's just a pile right there. And then what I watched the other day is I watched the original Davy Crockett movie.
Ooh, how did that age?
And that is just, there's a whole lot of racism in that one. You watch that one and you're like, oh, you're just talking about Native Americans like they're really not people at all. This is making me uncomfortable.
Davy Crockett, a major plot point in Mr. Saturday Night by Billy Crystal.
Oh, I'm so glad we could bring that back home.
Jacob, are you going to watch the making of The Mandalorian? Did you watch The Mandalorian? Did you like The Mandalorian?
I watched the first few episodes of The Mandalorian and I enjoyed it. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I am a passing Star Wars fan. I'm the guy that watches all the new Star Wars and goes like, oh yeah, those are fun. And that's kind of the end of my opinion on those. And so I watched the first few episodes of The Mandalorian. I enjoyed it. I thought it was neat. And then I just kind of fell off of it. But I not for any reason. I'll probably pick it back up at some point when I have some time.
It's worthwhile to get over the hump because I think the weakest episodes are in the middle. The second episode is by far, I think, its high watermark in terms of just like great Western storytelling that also happens to have magic and armor and guns and shit. Yeah. But like by the end of it, it does competently bring everything together, and it just hits that bare minimum of like that Star Wars has a problem lately of hitting, which is like competent storytelling, like just and like even though by the time that they get to like super gratuitous, like a fan service moment from the cartoons, apparently, like at least it's after they've told their competent story. The competent story is done, and now they have another moment. It's like, good, at least you didn't do that in the middle of the story and pretend that everybody is going to be like really excited by the fact that you pulled out a paper clip we saw in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's right. They did something about like some kind of like no, maybe I can't remember if they actually did a thing or we made a joke about them doing a thing about. Did you ever wonder where the insignia on the upper left epaulet of Darth Jeep Chop was?
Yeah,
and everyone just said no.
Apparently,
no, I haven't.
There's like a moment where there's like a badass thing happens, and I'm like, oh, cool, look, a badass thing happened, and then somebody, like all my nerd friends, are like, I can't believe they did the from the Clone Times, the animated series that was only available on Fruit Roll-Ups.
Oh, you saw that one? That was a good one.
Oh, it was actually better than the Phantom Menace.
All right, I got one more question for Jacob. Have you discovered the joy of the TV version of What We Do in the Shadows yet?
That's pretty great,
isn't it?
It's
fucking
so great.
Matt, I for one can't get enough of Matt Berry's incredible voice. Whether he's talking about pleasuring himself in ethereal form, or saying bats, or appearing in the movie Moon, which only my daughter noticed. Like that fucking crew, man, they're slaying it. It's so good.
You can tell it's just a room full of people going like, "Hey, this would be funny. Hey, right here. Hey, this would be funny, wouldn't it?"
I mean,
and everybody just goes with it.
The thing that I've loved the most about this season is they've done such a better job, or they've obviously focused more instead of having the supernatural in the real world be the conflicts. They've spent so much more time with the supernatural interacting with the other supernatural elements of this
Yeah, oh,
universe. And
yeah.
it is like awesome because you so rarely get like talk about a field in which competent storytelling is hard to find. Like any kind of like horror, let alone horror comedies, like it happens once every 20 years. There's good horror comedy. And they are like, it's like, oh, congratulations, you get 12 of these. It's like, fucking A, awesome.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I was so excited to see that because I loved the movie. And then was so as soon as they said, "Oh, we're gonna try this as a TV show," like, well, this like it could be terrible, but it could be wonderful.
Yeah, I was asking a friend to watch it, and he was like, "Well, I should watch the movie first." And I was like, "You know what? Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a solid. Just try going
Dive
straight to
in.
the TV show." Yeah. And then
I-
save the movie as like wouldn't it be great to see, a totally different interpretation of it?
I would have liked to have seen it in that order. I would have liked to have seen the TV show first and then the movie. Because the movie, I walked into the movie completely blind, having no idea what it was going to be. And so it took me a while to figure out, like, it's this, okay. And like, I would have really liked to have gone into the movie knowing at least the mindset that I needed to walk in with.
Yeah. Man, I guess shit, we're already up on the hour. Look at that. Happened so fast. Jacob, I guess we don't really do promotions or anything. Ice Cream Social.
No one will know where Jacob goes
Yeah.
except
No, I'm
for
just a
Ice
guy.
Cream Social and Pod Therapy.
That's true. Hey man, thank you to everybody for
And I
joining
drink
us
some
for happy hour. We love you
Oh,
guys.
this is that new Adele.
Yeah.
Boodle-a-doodle-doo. Beep-beep-dee-doodle. Boodle-deedle-da. Doo-doo-diddle-dee-dee-dee. Doodle-deedle-doo. Doodle-deedle-doodle. Doodle-deedle-doo. Doo-doo-diddle-dee-dee-dee. Boodle-a-doodle-doo. Beep-beep-dee-doodle. Boodle-deedle-da. Doo-doo-diddle-dee-dee-dee. Boodle-a-doodle-doo. Beep beep dee doodle, doodle deedle doodle. Beep beep dee boodle deedle boodle doodle doo. Beep beep dee doodle, doodle deedle doodle. Beep beep dee boodle deedle boodle deedle doo. Deedle deedle doo.
The guy works so fast.